everybody. This is Carolyn Scott, the owner of Carolyn Scott Processing, and this is the second video blog in a series that I'm really excited to present to you. And today we've just gone through a lot of holidays and we're getting ready to move into a new year. And so I'm hoping to present some information that will help you as you do that. I was talking with a friend of mine who has 6 kids, all under the age of 9, and she took them with her on a trip just recently over the holidays, and she was the only adult, so a 9-year-old all the way down to this little infant. And usually when she travels with them, she'll just pack a couple of bags with the essentials and they're fine. But this time, Grandma and Grandpa knew that they were going on the trip, and so they bought each little kid their own hard shell travel bag that they could take with them on the airplane, and each kid got their own color, and they were so excited. And so my friend said, okay, you can take them. We'll try it this time. And so they get to the airport and they've loaded the car with all of these bags, and they pull out the bags and each little kid's trying to struggle with their bag and clack, clack, clack down the tiles, and people are looking at them and she's just feeling embarrassed, and everybody's struggling, and it's taking a whole lot of time. And nobody checked bags. Everybody piled their carry-ons onto the airplane, and then, you know, after they get off, it's kind of the same thing. And so she just said, it was a fiasco. I am never doing that again. It was just a really huge travel fail. And as we were laughing about it, I thought to myself, there's a real principle in that. Emotionally, if we're carrying negative baggage with us, it can really slow down our journey. It can make it heavier. It can make it more complex than it needs to be. And if we can just jettison some of that and bring with us what we need, then our journey is going to be a lot easier. So today I wanted to share some thoughts about a technique to examine some of that emotional baggage and to restructure some thought patterns to make your journey easier. So there was a man in 1955 named Dr. Albert Ellis, and he introduced a technique called Rational Emotive Behavioral Therapy, or REBT. And if you know your ABCs, if you know your alphabet, this will be an easy formula for you to remember. So A would stand for activating event, B is belief, and that could be a logical or illogical belief. C is consequence, D is disputing, and then E is finding a more effective way to think or act or behave. So I'll give you an example from my life of how you could use this. Some of you may know that I am a musician, and my undergraduate degree is in music. And so I auditioned for this classical music program at the university where I attended, and I auditioned remotely, so I sent in a videotape and was accepted and received a scholarship, and I was just elated. And then the year came, and it was very challenging. It was a very challenging program. They called it vocal boot camp. People would cry, people would kind of break down. And by the end of the year, you had to pass this proficiency exam, and if you didn't pass, you couldn't advance in the program. And so I was just really terrified. So activating event for me would be the proficiency exam, the jury. B, the belief. In my head, as I stood up to show my skills, I was thinking, I have to be perfect. They're gonna hate me. I'm not good enough. This is a nightmare. I'm so scared. All of those thoughts. And if you can imagine what C, the consequence of those thoughts would be, you would probably be right. I was knock-kneed. I was just, my breathing was shallow, which is not good if you're trying to sing. I was clutching the piano for support and stabilization. I was not projecting a confident aura, and my sound was terrible because of all of those things. And I found out from those results that I didn't pass my jury. I got kicked out of the program. So I went from having a scholarship to being kicked out of the program, all because of my beliefs. And I re-auditioned, and it was fine after that. But if I were to go into a future situation where I was going to be judged, I would probably think, okay, so those were my beliefs in that situation. That is the key determinant of my C, my consequences. So D would be then disputing the beliefs. So I could say, do they really want me to fail? No, probably not. They taught me and they want me to succeed. Do I have to be perfect? No, I just have to pass their set of examination standards. And so I could go through my beliefs that were negative like that and dispute them. And then E is finding a more effective way to think or feel or behave. So for me, I would say, okay, I know that in these circumstances where I'm being judged, I might struggle. And so I could do some deep breathing before. I could do some yoga. I could practice in front of an audience before I go up to be judged, those kinds of things. And then I'm armed to have a different result and have a more positive outcome in the future. So activating event, belief, which is huge, consequence, then disputing, and then finding a more effective way to move forward. So that's ABCDE, Alfred Ellis's Rational Emotive Behavioral Therapy. Just some thoughts. As we are moving into the new year, I love a poem by Lord Alfred Tennyson, and it's called Ring Out Wild Bells. And the second stanza of that says, ring out the old, ring in the new, ring happy bells across the snow. The year is dying, the year is going, let him go. Ring out the false, ring in the true. And just that concept of ringing out the old, ringing in the new, ringing out the false, ringing in the true has a lot of weight as we examine our emotional baggage and hopefully have an easier journey into this new year as we can jettison some of that. So that's one technique you could use. And then if you want some assistance in going a little bit deeper and accessing some of those belief systems that are harder to access, I am excited to work with clients using emotional release processing and Sandtray therapy that I offer through Carolyn Scott Processing. It's for anybody really who wants to address these belief systems, who wants to have more effective outcomes in their lives, and you will learn how to get to some of the things that are holding you back, perhaps, or making the journey heavier. Usually, for Sandtray therapy, I talked about emotional release last time, but for Sandtray therapy, if you were to do a session, it could run you about $100 in traditional therapeutic settings here in Utah. I've done some comparison shopping. Sandtray is really powerful because not only is it a fun technique, you kind of get to play and create and explore, but it's really powerful. It's really a beautiful process and goes very deep, and it's a pretty empowering technique. My regular price for Sandtray, which is about a 1 hour session to an hour and a half, is $50. And I came across Sandtray because I had heard so many people who just loved it and felt like it really helped them in their lives. I mentioned in my last video that through the winter months that are so challenging for people, so December, January, and February, I am offering specials for first-time clients and for people that refer first-time clients. So for 50 people through those months, and some of those slots have been taken since my last video blog, so you'll want to act quickly, I will offer a Sandtray session for $25, which is an incredible deal and a great investment in your future and in making your journey a little bit easier. I really am passionate about what I do. I really love it. I think these techniques are very powerful and really help a lot of people, and I guarantee you that I will be right there with you on this journey as you are moving forward in your life and into this new year. So you can visit my website at www.carolyn-scott.com, and you can get a little bit more information. I will also attach to this video blog a little segment about sand tray therapy so that you can learn more. So feel free to visit. You can learn about sand tray therapy and about processing. And I will see you soon.